I have your attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Kryptonite Show, where we got really good news out today. The beautiful big bill just got passed by the Senate, so that is bullish news moving forward. It's got to go to the House now, so very, very exciting stuff there. Nasty little Chuck Schumer, I think apparently changed the name on the end, but no one's going to care about that. So here we go. All right, so we're going to have a good time here. Now, obviously, stock market, we've got mixed results, but the Dow Jones really signals a bullish move. So obviously, it's got to go back to the House now. Has had some decent changes, so it won't just be super quick, but we'll see how that plays out as we move, trying to get it to Trump's desk by the 4th of July. So that is the big news coming up. After that, of course, we're talking about tariff trade deals. So we're going to looking at that. We had the Jerome Powell out overnight giving his usual nonsense. I mean, he's willing to charge, the U.S. Consumers and taxpayers billions and billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars of tax given all the debt in the U.S. That's what I say. Democrats don't care about the people, just power and control. And it's pretty crazy. So we're going to get into all that. Trump is still winning, and so we're going to keep pushing forward with that for the golden age of America coming up. It's going to be pretty exciting. So we're going to get into a lot of stuff today, a lot of Bitcoin charts. That's going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to do tons of Bitcoin stuff. We're going to be getting into, of course, Ethereum, watching that Ethereum golden cross come up. It's getting very close. So we're going to, obviously, with the pullback in crypto a little bit overnight, we'll be looking forward to that. Now, that's going to be pretty exciting, and we'll see how the markets price up. We'll look at the futures, seeing how markets are pricing up the House win there for the beautiful big bill. And then, of course, we're going to get into Richard Hart. He is really teasing out this marketing stuff. I'm loving it. I hope you guys are loving it too. So Richard Hart and PulseChain, we get into that. What else we're going to do? We're going to get into all the markets. We're going to look at the latest bridge results, and you're going to see, how that's tracking. Kind of one of our key sentiment indicators on PulseChain, right, is the bridge flows. And of course, I've got exclusive bridge information here on the Kryptonite Show, and we've got much more coming. What else we got? Going to get a look into the results for the market on PulseChain. So we've got a lot of cool stuff coming up. So I hope you guys enjoy the show. We've got Frank White now. It's nice and early. Bang, bang, gang. Hey, good to see you, Frank White. Always a pleasure. Yeah, if you haven't checked out the PulseChain ecosystem in Frank White, he's got Pulse Start. And, of course, if you haven't seen that, definitely check it out. So, we're looking pretty good. We've got Blair in the house as well. Good to see you, Blair. Hope you're doing well. Big shout out. We've got some cool people in the chat there. And, of course, if you haven't shared the show on X, share the show. So I'm going to post the link to the show. Share it on X. It really does help a lot. So if you guys can just repost that'd be fantastic on X if you're on X. Now we're streaming to 3 YouTube channels at the moment. I could stream it to more, but there are 3 at the moment, and on X. So pretty awesome crowd. So over 14,000 subscribers on YouTube, and many more on X, no doubt, as we're climbing, heading towards 1,000. Now I have done something else, which hopefully I'll have good news about that coming up soon. So once I get confirmation, I'll let you guys know about that. Pretty cool. Wookie says frosty start to the day, but it is a little chilly here in New Zealand. It is winter, of course. We've had a lot of rain and some stormy kind of weather, particularly some parts of the country, but it's pretty sunny today, actually, just with a cool breeze, as we might say. I am in a t-shirt, so I mean, it's not too bad, but I do feel a little bit of a tinge there. All right, shall we get straight into the show? Let's do it. Now, obviously, the Monster Thread came out on Monday, so it's been 2 days since the Monster Thread's been out. So if you haven't checked that out, definitely check that out. I'll post a link to the Monster Thread actually in the chat. Let me find that actually. Let me quickly find the Monster Thread here as well. And don't forget to share it around. It's a perfect onboarding tool for people to get used to, right? So let's actually go into the screen, I guess, and share it around. Let me jump over there. Bam. All right. So this is the Monster Thread, week number 8. Can you believe it? Number 8. It's got all the latest, hottest news in there as well. So kind of cool. Now, something fun I did yesterday. I went through a lot of Telegram groups and things that PulseChain groups, and I ended up leaving a few PulseChain groups just because they're not doing anything. They're just not being active. And of course, we're trying to be as active as we can out there promoting PulseChain, talking about PulseChain. And some of these groups, man, they've just got such controls over what's contents in there. It's pretty crazy. So yeah, we've been making a lot of different friends and partnerships on PulseChain, and people really got an open mind, which is really good. And they all want PulseChain to succeed. And I really like the ethos. So yeah, I ended up exiting some big groups yesterday. That's all I'm going to say. Some big groups, just not doing anything, right? So and being very controlly. Very controlly. So it's fine to have some basic controls for security and safety, but they're just not doing anything promoting wise. They're really limiting stuff out there. So yeah, time to change the attitude, and let's move forward. Richard Hart is leading the way. Promotions are coming. It's going to be a lot of fun there. Anyway, Monster Thread. Let's have a look here. So Monster Thread number 8, and we're going to post a link to that. Bam. All right. So there we go. We've got Steve Wright now. Say Steve Wright. Steve Wright, Santa Barbara in the house there. You inspire, continuously educate, and keep the positive flow on. Sure helps me. Thank you. Ace. Thanks for that, Steve. That's a very lovely comment. Thank you very much. Super lives in the tropics. Yeah, I do. Well, actually, that's true because Wookie is in the south and I'm in the north. And the south is obviously near Antarctica. So, I mean, that's probably why it's so much more chilly down there. That's a fair point. I don't know. What's the distance between us? Maybe 1,000 kilometers or something like that? A good question, actually. Maybe we'll answer that in Discord, but I think it's about 1,000 kilometers, which will be about 600 miles for you Americans out there. Monster 8, there is the link there. Check it out. It's got all the latest news over last week. We got Master and Chief Editor there, MBS Crypto. It is a production of the Kryptonite Show, of course, one of our publications, and we're going to have more publications coming out in the future, which is going to be a lot of fun. So stay tuned for all that. Yeah, we're getting pretty close. Do have to make some, a few little tweaks here and there, but we're getting there. All right, so that is there. Let's jump over, shall we, and move on into the stock market. Kind of cool. I don't know what happened there. Somehow I'm in the tabloids. We got the stock market. No, where am I going here? I'm on the wrong page. There we go. Let's get out of there. And let's go to the NASDAQ and check out stuff. So S&P 500 closed lower, weighed by the tech stocks, and the Dow ends up. So the Dow there, the top 30 industrials, that is up today, and didn't really move with the tech stocks yesterday, but it is up almost 1%, 400 points to 44,494, which is heading back towards the all-time high, right? So if we look at the last 5 years, we can see we're not far away from the all-time high from the Dow Jones. Let me just make sure I'm on the right one there. Here we had two little bumps there. So I think it was 44,900. We're at 44,500. And this is the industrial. So very bullish about where we're heading. S&P 500 is pretty much flat, down 7 points to 6,198, and the NASDAQ there down 0.8%, just taking off a bit of profits. Had some record moves there in the old NASDAQ, so that is down 167 points to 20,200. But already we've got the futures already up. So the futures are up, not up huge, and the futures are up 1/10%, probably on the Senate passing of the big beautiful tax bill there. Now there's a bit of controversy around Elon Musk and the big tax bill and all that sort of stuff, particularly around batteries, in particular solar panels, renewable energy. As you guys know, renewable energy is largely expensive, guys. It's intermittent as well, so particularly solar. And hydro is not too bad if you can find enough hydro places, but a lot of them have already been tapped. And there, some of them do have genuine environmental concerns, not about climate change, but about it's actually help. If you believe in that nonsense. But of course, that is definitely around batteries. So batteries, some issues around batteries. But subsidies should never, incentives should really never be around longer than 5 to 7 years, and a lot of these have been around for ages. So it's probably a good time to move on from that. The other thing is that the CBO, so the Center for Budget Office, basically has really bad modeling. I mean, their modeling is so bad, and that's all the numbers that you're hearing everywhere, right? It's the CBO numbers, but they're wrong all the time. And they have economic growth at 1.8%, both before and after the tax cuts and extensions and all the benefits in the tax bill. So that really gives you a misreading of the budget deficit, because if you go from 1 to 3 trillion, then suddenly you're in the money and you're able to pay back debt, right? So that's the whole plan that Trump's doing, basically. So you either hold on to the CBO, which the Democrats love, right? The mainstream media love. Even Elon Musk is being a bit naughty around that. Or you see that Trump's actually going to deliver economic growth just like he did back in his last presidency. And, we could be hitting record levels, 3-4% economic growth plus. It's definitely on the cards with what Trump's doing. So, yeah, pretty awesome. Now, remember, Trump's strategy, the three-legged stool strategy, is playing out very well. Just got to get this big tax bill. It is the baseline for a lot of that stuff. It's got all his promises inside it for the most part. So, yeah, trying to get that over the line and hopefully by the 4th of July. And then, of course, Trump's raised $15 trillion already, almost record a level of investment for the United States. So you're talking about economic boom being laid here. A lot of the money will go back into the hands of the people, and it's pretty huge. Now, if the opposite was true, it would be up to about a 68% tax increase in the United States, and the Democrats would love that because they win both ways, right? They sink Trump's whole presidency, right? Because everyone's moaning about paying 68%, more taxes across the board. And not only that, they also get more tax money when if they take control, they get more tax money and control, and so they win both ways, right? They're a little nasty little bunch of people, and it's a good thing. That's why we so desperately need it through. It's not perfect. No bill's ever perfect, but it's going to be, I think, amazing for shrinking the state, increasing the private sector as well. It's another strategy that Trump's doing that's complementing the big tax bill. And obviously the people get more freedom that way, right? And the less freedom you have, the worse off you are. Forget all those university students that are graduating with expensive degrees and not getting jobs and then becoming Marxists and socialists. Forget those guys. Think about the hardworking white blue collars workers that are working hard and want a decent deal, right? They want to keep their money, right? There's some irony in all of that, right? Some irony. So, moving on. Moving on. Let's get into it. So, the dollar there is pretty much flat at 96.34. So it's definitely devalued a lot, right? 108 when Trump came into president on the 20th of January, approximately. We've got crude oil at the moment, $65.50. Brent oil at $67. Trump's already won on the oil front, and I think he's probably going to continue to win on the oil front there. So that's huge for the U.S. economy. We keep talking about that. Silver and gold's at 3,353, so holding pretty chill there. And silver is just under $36 at the moment, and it's just down slightly as well. We're expecting both of those to really boom during the Trump golden age of America on all fronts, right? So if you're holding gold and silver, good luck. It's going to be pretty good. What else? Yeah, so a bit of profit taking on the stock market. The other big thing, of course, is we had Jerome Powell speaking as well, and he's got this usual wait and see and learn more, which is just a complete lie. Federal funds rate at 4.5%, the inflation's around 2.4, 2.5%. The rate should be cut at least by 2 percentage points, but he's playing politics. And I said to you, Democrats do not care about the people. They will burn the people for power and control, and that's exactly what Jerome Powell is doing on behalf of his little masters. And it's supposed to be neutral, right? Supposed to be neutral, but no. And good rule of thumb is that interest rates should be close to the inflation rate in any case. So let's see what happens. Pressure is mounting on a reduction in September. All right, so September pressure is mounting for that. So let's see how we go. September could be the ultimate trigger for altcoin season. Why? Because not only is it good for the US refinancing debt, which Trump's trying to hold off on, right? Because otherwise it's like hundreds and billions of dollars of extra costs, right? So it's ridiculous. We got that, and then of course it's really about risk off, right? If you lower interest rates, all interest rates risk off, interest rates go down, and then everyone has to seek higher risk. They have to take on more risk, and so they have to go more stock market, more crypto, right? And so it just feeds the fire for our crypto boom, our big altcoin season, our big banana part of the curve, and this is what we're waiting for, right? This is really huge. We also already got record levels of M2 supply. I think it's something around, if I remember rightly, around $22 trillion in M2 supply. That's kind of liquid money, right? If you think about M2, I know it sounds a bit weird, but it's kind of economic name. So it's really just, what assets are relatively liquid. Yes, that is really going. So more money slushing around, more lower interest rates, more risk on, then boom, boom, boom for asset classes, right? Particularly for crypto, which we're waiting for. So that's kind of the background there. All right, what else have we got going? Yeah, employment's been holding up reasonably well as well, so showing quite robustness there. Manufacturing index, the ICMM came out, it was 49, so anything over 50 is expansion. So it's heading back up. It had a low on May of 48.5. I think that's going to start rallying quite hard under the Trump era, particularly in the second half of the year, which we've just entered, right? So kind of cool. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. And we've probably got about a 25% chance of a rate cut expected at the moment with Jerome Powell. But once we move from July into August, that should probably go up very dramatically, I would say. A lot of pressure going to go on him. And of course, the tariffs really haven't had the impact that these guys thought. There's a good reason for that. So, because not only do you have export tariffs, but you have imports, right? So we'll play that out as well. That's going to be pretty interesting. So we don't really see that in the prices. All right. A lot more pressure coming in for September for rate cut there. Moving into our crypto market. Let's jump over to a big screen. And we got crypto at 3.36 trillion, down 4.1% at the moment. So a big decrease today on the old CoinGecko market cap. Remember, there are 17,555 coins. Bitcoin at the moment down 1.5% at 105,540. We're still over 100K. That's really the key point there. Ethereum there down 3.4% at $2,400. XRP down 3.3%. $2.17 at number 4. Number 5 is BNB down 1.8%, $645. Solana at number 6 is down 5.2%, $146. After making a little decent little run this week, it's shaved off a lot of that today. 8 is Tron, is down 0.3%, just under 28 cents. Still at 1.5% for the week there. Doge there down 4.6% at 15.7 cents. So those are kind of our leaders, along with Lido at number 10. Now, the two that are still up for the week, Solana up 1.2% and Tron up 1.5%. Those are kind of the plays at the moment. In fact, the best performer is Tron. Tron's only down 7.3% overnight. So that is pretty much it for our top 10. Top 100, we've got TNQ sitting at number 84, up 777%. OMG, something happened there. And of course, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll have to check the news on that. 24 hours up 491%. And that's obviously jumped into number 84 there. We were talking about that yesterday, weren't we? Yeah, it's a top gainer at the moment, right? So in the top 1,000, that has jumped in the top 100 there at number 84. A massive gain there. And I wonder what the news was. Let's see here. So we got a massive jump here. Was down at $1.30. Is up over $10. So let us know in the chat there if you guys know what's happened with that. Maybe we'll bring up the Twitter and see whether there's any insights from there. And bam. All right. So let's see. Nothing I can see that's obvious. Straight out of the gates. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going there. Maybe it's a blip on the chart. I don't know. That's a bit weird, but it is showing up massive today. Not sure what's going on there, though. All right, so let's jump over to the other ones. We've got Pudgy Penguins at number 2, 50%. It's just got into the top 100, sitting at exactly at number 100 at the moment. We've got Bitcoin Cash there, up 10.6%, is at $500. That's at number 3. And then we've got Quant at number 4, which is sitting at number 69. That's up 3.8%. And then Bidget Token number 5, up sitting at 32, up 3.8. So we've got some pretty big dramatics today. I'm not sure that TNQ what's caused that or what's happening there. So just note that I haven't had a chance to check that out. Just saw that now. Pudgy Pensions though up 50% and hitting the top 100. Pretty amazing. So if TNQ is right, that's in the top 100 as well in dramatic fashion. So pretty crazy. I wonder what is driving that. Let us know in the chat if you guys know. We got Q Baller in the house there. Morning all. Good to see you, Q Baller. Big shout out. And Trevor in the house there. The narrative around climate change has been so weaponized, yet it's just now nonsense. Yeah, it was always nonsense. And the people pushing it were always flying around in jets and buying ocean property. So I don't know. You guys do the math. There was a lot of money going into those research labs as well. If you wanted to get good payment as a bioengineer or scientist, then you have to just go into climate change and put your application, right? And that's a lot of self-preservation there going on, or self-interest. Absolutely got to keep pushing PulseChain. Looks like RH is mobilizing the 1000 IQ. I like that, Trev. That's really cool. The 1000 IQ. All right, so pretty cool. Let's move into the top gainers. Out of the 1000, we obviously 10Q in the list there. We got Humanity up 51% as well, sitting at 7 cents, and Debridge there as well. So yeah, pretty crazy. That 10Q, right? That 10Q. What is going on there? I don't know. That's pretty crazy stuff. So yeah, not sure what's driving that. We'll have to check that out after the live stream. Humanity. So let's have a look here. So Humanity at the moment, this is ticking away as well. It's traded on a token. Let's have a look at the website. I think, did we look at this yesterday? Yeah, we did. We looked at this yesterday. So it was trending yesterday as well. It was a top coin yesterday. It's got your own identity. I'm not sure whether I'm too much into this, but it is still continuing up at the moment. Let's see what else we got there. The bridge, that's something new. So 24.7 cents, been around since 8 October last year. 3.7 cents, went all the way down to 1.3 cents, and now is back up at almost 2.5 cents, let's say. And the bridge is a bridge that moves at light speed. Looks, I'm not chain is that on Solana. On Solana there from the looks of it. So yeah, the bridge finances. A quick look at it on the website. Developers, Deplorer, they got the bridge itself. Let's a quick look at that. That is the bridge there. All right, cool. So that is the bridge. And they're sitting at, what number are they sitting at? They're sitting at number 550. 550 there, so it's pretty decent. All right, let's move into a couple of other. Let's move into Bitcoin chart. Good evening from America. Big shout out to you. Go USC. We got living my best life in the house. Great to see you. Now, if you guys haven't hit the subscribe button on YouTube or the follow button on X, feel free to do that. It helps a lot. All right, so finally, let's get into the wrap up here. We got trending coins, Toncoin. Telegram has been trending on here a lot regularly, right? Not coin and useless coin. That's funny. Not coin and useless coin. I don't know. Are these creative names? I don't know. You guys decide, but they're trending at the moment. So that's pretty much where we are on crypto. 3.36 trillion, down 3.8%. It's a little bit improved what we started off with, down 4.4. Bitcoin still holding well over 100 grand. Is $105,700, and Ethereum there $2,400. It looks like we've got a little bit of green candles happening on the currently hourly there. Maybe going to lift from the Senate approval of the big beautiful bill there. So we shall see. Looking to crypto. I've got on the monthly here. Let me move around and move back to the daily here. I was doing some report yesterday. So let's have a look here where we are. So we're ticking away still through our strategy here with Trump. We've been mapping it out and keeping it up to date. So yeah, we've still got the big beautiful tax bill. So we had the Senate approval today. We started a brand new day. Let's see if we can get some green candles today. And then we got the big beautiful bill there on the 4th. I've got to go through the House session, so there's not a lot of time. What's that? 2 days, 3 days to get us in there from the 4th of July. So yeah, let's see how we get on. It's going to be a tight one. Now we just don't know how much stuff's going to happen in the House, but definitely there were some changes made through the Senate, and Chuck Schumer playing some games. So let's see where we head towards the 4th. But super big deal. This is massive for Trump. So fingers crossed it all comes out there. And of course, I guess the onus is that all these policies end up making strong economic growth. That is really the kingpin there. And Trump's done everything to set that up. And there's much more coming. You got to think he's doing what no one else has ever really done before. He's treating the whole United States as an asset that is off the coast, right? On the East Coast, the West Coast, and the Gulf of America. He's treating the American soil, both above ground and underground, as an asset. And they're going to try and develop as much stuff as they can for the long-term benefit of America. They're also looking at Alaska, opening up the big ANWRs and all that sort of stuff out there, the big oil and gas. It could be as big as Saudi Arabia. So we've got that out there. We've got also plans for potential Greenland, plans for potential Alberta. There's lots of things that Trump is doing on the asset side of things. On the income side of things, he's obviously trying to deal with the huge budget deficit of about $2 trillion a year. Half of that is interest cost, which is just insanity. That much I agree with Elon Musk on. And of course, also the federal debt, the people's public debt, I guess, of 37 trillion. So they're massive. And of course, Trump's got to get that GDP growth up to 3-4%, and then you can get the federal revenue up to start paying that down, right? And also keep doing what he's doing with the costs, cutting costs with Doge. trying to get those out as well. And, get lower interest rates, going to be pretty critical. If you're going to refinance all that debt every year they refinance a certain amount of it, maybe at 25% or something. And so they've got to, get the lower cost as they can. You don't want to get above the cycle, right? Average. You want to get below the average of anything for interest rates, especially rolling over debt. And of course, the trade deals, we've got those coming up pretty soon. So trade deals as well coming up here in the following week on the 8th and 9th. So let's say the 9th. We know that things are going well with India on a deal, but things are not going a little bit tougher on Japan, particularly around car trade and rice, selling rice into the Japan. So a few little tensions there. We'll see how that goes. Trump's threatened to leave them with a 30-40% tariff. So we'll just keep monitoring that. But that's kind of where we are trade deals. We are expecting to get a number of good trade deal announcements after the big tax bill. So on the 4th, the big bill, that's the idea. And then maybe the 9th there, we get the big, a couple of big countries announced that the market will love that. And then we'll get a lot more countries, right? I mean, there's about 175 countries or so. Many of them will probably just get some sort of letter or basic negotiation, whereas the big countries, the top sort of 10, 15 is what we're expecting to move the sentiment of the market in the right direction. And it's going to be fun to see that play out. And then we had tons of deregulation leverage. We're getting heaps of things around crypto, stable coins in July, with the Stables Act, the Genesis Act, all that sort of stuff. And then moving into September, we're going to get tons of crypto stuff coming out there in September, right? So look forward to that. September, October is going to be very bullish on the old, regulations for crypto, and particularly positive. So we're going to be really enjoying all that stuff in September, October coming up. And there's a big report coming out, I think, in October as well. So keep looking out for that. It's all coming. Crypto is going to get lots of love. There's about 8 or 9 different bills running around the United States supporting that. And of course, we've also got outside the United States, right? We've got Asia, we've got Europe and places like that, particularly Asia. I think we're seeing a good mixed signals there. And South America, of course, we see a lot of favorable, generally favorable. There's a couple of countries that are not, but generally favorable crypto policies, because if you're in a weaker economy, so US economy, of course, has got the reserve dollar. It is the reserve. And if you're in a weaker economy, and particularly if you're coming out of a Marxist socialist country, because every time they get in, they wreck every country, right? This is the problem that you're having in America, particularly around New York now. You got a crazy communist guy there that the people are voting for. He gets in there and he'll wreck the place, and then they'll wonder, oh, what do I go on? But many of them don't even realize, everything's wrecked. I know it's wrecked. I feel it's wrecked, but I'm going to vote for them back in again. This is how psychotic it is. But anyway, that's just the way it goes. Trump is going to his success will hopefully help lift everyone else, despite all the silly communists and Marxists around destroying everything. And of course, the globalists as well, trying to still run their plan of dominance there, which Trump's trying to unravel to some degree as well. So that's kind of where we are at the moment on the old marks there. Yeah, it's mid-September, 17th September. That's when we may get interest rate cuts. A lot of pressure will come on Powell. He's going to get, I think he's supposed to be leaving May next year, but I think they might try and roll him. I think they may have provisions to roll him earlier and get a new replacement there and fill in another position. So they might get another new position there as well that has a bit more common sense and is actually supposed to be neutral, right? So that's going to play. So that's the golden age of America. Let's get into some of the moves here supporting that. So we've seen some pretty good flows from ETFs, right? So on the ETFs there, we've seen a lot of green candles coming into Bitcoin. The last day we had on the 1st of July, we did see a negative. It was negative there. An outflow of 169 million, but generally we've never been seeing pretty good days of over $500 million, and that's going to be nothing in the future, right? So if we have a big day where we have 1.3 billion, like back in November last year on the 7th, we're probably going to start seeing multi-billion days on these ETFs here. So look out for that; it's going to be pretty good. Right, so that is pretty much it. And here is the Bitcoin halving. We were waiting for the banana part of the chart, right? We've been playing for the banana part. So this is the banana part here, the banana part here back in 2013, back here in 2017, which was amazing to watch. And of course, back here in 2021, we had a double top, right? Richard Hart's famous Judas candle over here. And then, of course, we're coming up here. We're slowly creeping up, right? It's almost like we're in this area, right? We're sort of slowly creeping up. Now, this green area, of course, is the percentage towards halving, right? So we're at 30% the way towards the next halving, which is over here, right? This one here in 2028 here. So we're slowly ticking towards that 30% the way. And so we're expecting a big banana move right after the halving, a big banana move. And we're a little bit late because, of course, Trump had to fix up all these problems that the Democrats and Bidens and globalists have made, right? So he's having to fix all of that up. And so we've had a bit of tough love over the first 5 or 6 months, but everything is going pretty damn incredible. Trump is starting to really rise in the polls, so it's good news for the rest of us. Onwards and upwards there today. All right, so that is, but we're pretty close to that banana part of the curve. Now, looking at the rainbow, let's look to the future. So we know where we are at the moment, 105K. We're sitting over 100K quite nicely. We got a good old strategy with Michael Saylor buying more Bitcoin on a regular basis. And so he just keeps buying, spending 100 million here, 100 million here, 100 million there, all this sort of stuff. But pretty crazy stuff. Should I say 100 billion here, 100 billion? I don't know. But this is the rainbow chart, and we are heading. So if we take this line here is Christmas 2025, I guess. Is it 25, 26, 25? And we've got see the last banana curves where we're moving up this rainbow. Well, it's on a log scale too. And that we actually get up to this orange area, right? See the orange area? We're always getting up to that on the top of the market, getting up to this orange area. So look where the orange area. It's not here. We're not in the orange area. We're in the green area here right now. But the orange area is where we top out. Look at that. And we even got to the red back in 2017. It was pretty incredible, but we just touched the red back in 2021. And look, we're getting pretty close. We're in green at the moment. So you see what's in front of us, guys. Just hold the faith, keep cool, keep accumulating, get some good stuff, be diversified in the right stuff, all that good sort of financial, principles, because we are just about to go to that banana part, right? Look at that, guys. I mean, that's all I can say. Look at that. That is where we're at. We're just so close here. And look at that. We've got to go through yellow, and we're probably going to get to orange. So let's just say we just get to orange, right? We're looking at, 210 to 250, really, aren't we? We're looking at 210, 250. And man, it could be absolutely outstanding, right? And we could even go higher. Now, I have seen numbers, of course, people talking about $1 million Bitcoin. Hey, look, those things are possible, but definitely we're going to keep it a bit more chill, and 200, 250 is a pretty good mark. So I think I like that mark at the moment. That's certainly, well supported with the rainbow movements here. So that's kind of where we are. And maybe the top end could get to 400. See the top end in 425? So it's definitely plausible that we could touch on that red, maybe get to 400 on the move. Now, into next year, of course, 2027, we've got the mark here at 729 at the top. And that's when we start to get into that $1 million mark. So if we front run that $1 million mark by a year, it's definitely plausible. There is definitely arguments for that. In fact, we've got an argument for that. Should I pull it in? I wasn't going to, but should we do it? You have to bear with me for a moment while I do that. Or should I just go back to the screen and we'll pull it in? Let's see if I pull it in and let me do some studio magic here. We're talking about all the alpha today, man. This is like crazy. If you haven't joined our strategy club, join in. I just put the monthly report out yesterday. So jump in there as well. We're going to change the format of the monthly report, but it's updated there today. So if you haven't joined up, only $35 a month. Get in there, folks. It's really, really good value. And get all the latest and greatest. All right. Let me just go back here. I sort of lost track what I was doing. Let me go back up here. Now we're going to bring in this video. I wasn't going to do this, but I just feel like it's the right time, right place, hopefully it imports and I don't have any trouble here. Let me see here. Bam. All right. Let's pull this in. Man, this is a fun show today. You guys enjoying it? Man, we're covering so much stuff. It is crazy. What happened here? I've got to make sure. Now I'm all over the place. Here. So let me go back. So it's coming in. It's pulling in. Let me pull that in. Is that ready to go? I think it is. Let's see here. Is it going to let me do that? No, it's not allowing me. Where's it going? No, I think I'm going to have to do it live. So not normally how I like to do things, but let's get rid of the studio mode. I'm going to have to do this live, guys. So let me jump back here. I thought that would have worked, but no luck there. All right, let's bring in the move file. It's going to look a little bit rough.
You should really look at the pattern of Bitcoin after a halving. So here's a little Bitcoin price analysis for you guys. So there's been a couple of halving cycles that have happened. And I asked him to go back and look at the price performance 1 month after a halving, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, and 18 months after a halving. And what you notice is that there are these moments initially where essentially when you go through a Bitcoin halving, people are sort of reassessing what's happening and they're trying to figure it out. That's sort of what I would say happens in the first month and roughly what also happens in the first 3 months. But then within 6 months to a year and 18 months of these things, there are these crazy price appreciation cycles that happen. So that's what this page shows, which is, 18 months after the first halving, the Bitcoin price returned 45x. After the second halving, it returned almost 28x. And after this third halving, it returned almost an 8x, which is really incredible returns in such a short period of time. If you go to the next page. And so if you graph that, this is what it starts to show, which is what is this price performance after each of these halving cycles. Now, why is that interesting? Well, it's interesting because on top of this halving, which theoretically, if history is a guide, we should see some price appreciation. Obviously, the other thing that's happened is we've commercialized Bitcoin. And we talked about this sort of as my big prediction for 2024, which is these ETFs are really going to allow Bitcoin to cross the chasm and have its sort of central key moment, right? And so if you apply the averages, and again, these are just averages, they're by no means predictions. Okay, so I just want to qualify that.
Yeah,
these are
this is not financial advice.
It's not financial advice. These are just guesses. Data. We took these and we applied it to the price of Bitcoin. And if you go to the next page, you start to see what could happen if you just take the average of the last few cycles. So because the first cycle was so extreme, and you start to
so you're just doing cycle 2 and 3 here, to be clear.
Just the averages of cycle 2 and 3, and what you start to see is some really meaningful appreciation. And when I talked to Wences about this, how he explained it, which makes a lot of sense to me, is there are a lot of countries that will never look at Bitcoin credibly, even if they support it. The US may be one of those, but there's an increasing body of countries that will become dual currency. And they will look at their local currency, and then they will look at Bitcoin. And they will say both of these two things are needed. One, when you're transacting on a daily basis for random goods and services. And two, when you need to buy a permanent asset that needs to have residual value, you'll use something like BTC. And I think that's a very powerful concept. And if you look at what this price chart could indicate, is that if this thing starts to get to these levels of appreciation, it is going to completely replace gold and start to become, you should really look at the pattern of Bitcoin after a halving. So here's a little Bitcoin price analysis.
All right, so that gives you an idea that they're talking about $500,000 based on cycle 3. So the last bull market, and then cycle 2, 3 average up to potentially over 1 million, maybe $1 million. And they're talking about massive appreciation at the top of that rainbow band, right? So it could be pretty huge. Let me just hide this layer, and we'll move myself back to where I was. All right, so I'm hiding the wrong one now. Let me hide that one. So yeah, we could get back to the top of this rainbow band at the top here because we've got these commercial. We've basically got everybody able to access the markets. We've got obviously a lot of change in risk. Change in risk takes a lot longer, right? But in this cycle, we've got a lot of corporate institutions starting to come in because of ETFs and things like that, vehicles like that, and of course companies that are coming in, being able to issue stock and other different ways of cash flowing. And then of course we've got sovereign states now moving into the mix after Trump's lead. And of course, some of the countries with weaker currencies having dual currencies, in other words, their own domestic currency and Bitcoin, something like that, right? And even Ethereum now is being talked about by Mike Lee as the next Bitcoin, right? The Ethereum there. So pretty exciting where we could go, and it's all going to happen pretty quick because we're going to get this banana part of the curve, and we're getting slowly creeping up to that, right? The second half of this year is we get this big tax bill through that really lays the foundation. Everything else is pretty much a given after that, and Trump has a lot of control and influence over that, and it's pretty much game on. So we could get to the top of this rainbow band just with the average on the cycle 3, and that would push us, up towards the 500,000 mark here. And of course, maybe even, they've gone some crazy numbers of 1 million. That would bring forward forward by just over a year, actually, to get that happening anytime sooner around Christmas time. That would be quite unbelievable. That would really smash this chart quite a bit. So, let's see where we go. So let's keep it chill at the moment with 400K on the upside, but 2 to 250 by the end of the year. But definitely some of those averages, pretty interesting sort of approach or modeling to where it might go. So pretty crazy stuff there. All right, so that was all on the fly. That's how we roll. Now, we do have more on that, right? So we got public companies have bought more Bitcoin, right? So public companies have bought more Bitcoin than ETFs did for the third quarter in a row. So as you guys know, a lot of cap, it's just the beginning. The crypto market's small, guys. It's small. 3.4 trillion. That's a small market. And now we have all the vehicles that people need to get into it, and they're all slowly jumping on the ball, right? And it's going to happen real fast, because as soon as how you get retail FOMO and the markets start rallying up. Well, imagine getting institutional flow and corporate flow, government flow, all of them getting FOMO, having to realize that they have to get in quickly. They have to make decisions quickly. And that's what we're going to see. That is what's going to get us to these big numbers. So, it's going to be pretty crazy. And of course, on the back of a golden age of America, it's going to be pretty amazing, guys. It's going to be pretty amazing now. All right. So, and Trump's trying to do this while he gets increases the economic growth, increases tax revenue, and then starts to play down debt, right? That's the old idea there. And I think their first target at the very minimum is to get the 3% of GDP on the debt. So on the federal deficit. So we'll see how that goes. All right. So we've got public companies grew their Bitcoin balance sheet by 18%, according to data provided by Bitcoin treasuries. Well, ETFs showed an 8% increase in the same period. And we're going to see this ramp up. Is what we're going to see, right? See this even ramp up even more, but pretty bullish. So we're expecting a lot of flows to come in. Public companies acquired 131,000 Bitcoins in the second quarter, growing their Bitcoin balance 18%. So it's pretty cool. ETFs showed an 8% increase, or about 111,000 Bitcoin in the same period. The institutional buyers who get exposure to Bitcoin through ETFs are not buying for the same reason as those public companies who are basically trying to accumulate Bitcoin to increase shareholder value at the end of the day. And of course, Michael Saylor's all about that, right? Michael Saylor. So pretty awesome. They don't care about the prices high or low. They care about growing the Bitcoin treasury, so they look more attractive to proxy buyers. It's not so much driven by the macro trend or its sentiment. It's for different reasons, so it becomes a different kind of mechanism that can push Bitcoin forward, which is kind of cool to see that as well, a different kind of driver. It is just going up and away, folks. Net Bitcoin inflows, looking really good, and I think that is going to accelerate away in the second half of this year. So that's kind of cool little article. That's going to lead us into Bitcoin. But before we do that, shall we talk about Richard Hart? I don't know. What do you guys reckon? I'm moving around here a bit today, but it's just the way it goes. Property View in the house there. Great show today. I appreciate it, Property View. Big shout out to you as well. That's pretty much where we're at there. So let's jump to Ray. We're going to go into Richard Hart. He's been really exciting the community with all this talk about digital container ships with a whole ton of digital devices. And of course, today he put out, only about 5 hours ago, he put out, "Oh, ye of infinite opinions and comments, the time for utility is upon you. Which automatic labeling device would you suggest to put a 400,000 shipping labels and marketing on bubble envelopes? A belt-fed system sure would save a lot of time. This also works but adds weight and cost because labels are separate. Labels separate. Doesn't print on an envelope directly. 4-color printing is a nice to have but not mandatory. Reminder you printing on a 2.29 ounces, 7.5 inches long, 5.9 inches wide, and 0.3 inches thick. Go forth, and something that rhymes with multiply that I can think of. And he's got a little machine there with the old printer sticker labels there. And then he goes, envelopes look like this. Future envelopes may just be poly enveloped instead of bubble to get under a quarter inch, which probably has benefits for shipping costs, no doubt. The printer or label has to cover the entire area because it has to put the address, the return address, the indicia, and the barcode and the marketing, which we've seen little clips there apparently, which is going to be around PulseChain, Hex, and pump tires, right? So that is kind of a free airdrop, reliable apparently, and new coins or something like that. I think is the kind of marketing idea. That's what we've been told. I think from a live stream with RX Max and the Wild SJ. So we'll see how that goes. Pretty cool. So that was exciting for the markets, and that leads us into PulseChain results. So let's talk about that. Higher stake Hex says, Superman, we are getting so close. Thank you for all you do. What a blessing you have these low prices to be able to stock up before the ride. Absolutely, high stakes Hex. You're absolutely right, and it's been a gift that keeps on giving. Thanks to many of the whales in the system, it's been a gift that has kept on giving. So yeah. Now, the one thing we've got, so the SEC is coming up, right? So the final of the final for the SEC is coming up, and that is on the 7th of July. So not the 5th, because of the weekend. So they have the flips over to the 7th. So the 7th is the date for the SEC. So we're waiting for that to come out. So that is going to be, well, we're going to see a gold mode candle. That's all I can say. Are we going to see a gold mode candle at that time? I don't know. You guys can decide, but maybe we will.
You could get a God candle at any moment. You could get a giant green candle at any moment because it's easier to get them, because it takes less economic energy, because there's less of it for sale.
Yep, I like that guy. It could be. We could see a God mode candle at any time. So anyway, we're 782 days away from when PulseChain launched on the 10th of May, 2023. Full system take copy of Ethereum on the 10th of May that year. And here we are at the moment at quadruple 0236, down 3.25%. And I couldn't say it much better than high stakes Hex. Yeah, it's a blessing you still can accumulate at these prices. We're only at 24% of the mean sacrifice price. Pulse Hex at the moment at quadruple 0182 is down 3.89%. Now we are below 2,000 on that mark. We're below 2,500 on Pulse. And of course, we did get the whale selling the Pulse Hex down. I think it was the third biggest sacrifice whale. Some people were talking also about Richard Hart doing some stuff like that, apparently. So we got, at the moment, we got quadruple 0182. And of course, that ratio to Pulse there changed quite a bit there, sitting at 1 to 1.29 or 0.77 for those that like that number, which is me. So yeah, that's kind of where we are at the moment. We got the buy and burn though is at 7.3%. 7.3% is only our buy and burn. And Frank White says 7 more days. 789. I like that. Thanks, Frank. All right, so we've got incentive token there, $1.44, down 4%, and the supply sitting, pretty lazy. We've got very low inflation, 2,600 ink per day, 0.03 ink per second. Hex at the moment is at just under half a penny, down 4.4%, and EHEX there at 1/1500th of a penny. Combined price EHEX and PX is currently at 6400th of a penny. What a price grab! Now I got to come back Hex. Man, look at that. There's another deal on Hex. So look at that deal on Hex. Looks pretty juicy as well. Kind of cool. All right, so that's where we are on the markets. Let's go over to the gas prices. We're at 1.06, 1 million beats basically. We're just under a cent for a PulseX swap. Very, very good to do business on PulseChain from that point of view. Validators, we're at 50,575 validators. So it looks like we're up a few there, maybe 15 or something like that from yesterday. And the bridge, which is our heartbeat check here, sitting, we're down quite a bit, aren't we? Well, we're 82.2 million yesterday. We were 82.6, I think, the day before that. And here we are at 80.9. So we're just, we're holding on to 80. Let's hope, fingers crossed. And I think we'll do that, guys. I think we'll do that. Subject to, this is US dollars, right? So prices move around of assets. So we're sitting at 18.4 million DAI, 6,842 ETH. 14.4 million USDC. Hex, of course, moving down is dragging this down, right? So Hex is dragging it down $13.4 million. So with that old EHEX dropping to 1/1500th of a penny. And we got Coast there sitting at 10.2 million, hasn't really moved, and USDC there is at 5.3 million. And those are the two that have been going up, right? Those are the two that have been going up. And then Bitcoin, good news, is back to 27. So the rounding there, looking a bit better there for good old Bitcoin. Now, what's been happening with the bridge? Well, we've got the good old chart here at the moment. And you can see with the latest data, this data is for an hour ago, so it was just an hour behind. But we saw we were actually having quite a bit of money going out overnight. See the red lines there. We had a big amount going out there, 134. That's a big red candle. But we had good news. only a couple of hours ago, maybe 3 hours ago, we had 208,000 come in to save the day, to save the bacon. and so we are moving pretty much sideways. Look at that. See? So the last couple of days, we've been moving sideways. We've had these big events. See these big bridge events? We've had all these big red candles. They have done their damage on terms of the money going up. Remember, these are timestamp values, not dynamic prices. They're not moving with the current price. These are timestamp values of whatever the price was at the time for that hour. But you can see that we had all this money leaving, a lot of it around the big whales and the Iran issue, right? And we have now just plateaued at about $3.3 million down on timestamp values there through the official PulseChain bridge between the 9th of July and the 1st of July. So the 9th's back over here. And this is where we are at the moment. So no good news yet, but we're looking for that capital reversal. And hopefully that will be one of the key metrics that plays into the PulseChain. Obviously, we've got a lot of stable coins over on PulseChain that can be used to push up the asset values. And of course, there's thin liquidity over there too. So, we can get a move on earlier. And that move, we get a green candles, then that might, encourage this capital reversal that we're after. And more money comes in, right? Now, the other hand, people may be over on, other chains or bridging and thinking about, well, actually, the prices are down and I'm ready to bridge over so we can have a bit of a push or a pull, right? And so we'll see how that all plays out. So hopefully, big tax bill gets approved, everything starts moving forward like we've been talking about, and we get a capital reversal on PulseChain. Typically, they often move a little bit delayed, don't they? But we'll see how that all plays out. And we're coming up to the 7th of July, and with the final nail in the coffin for the SEC, all going well. And maybe we see gold mode candle. We'll see. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. We're not bleeding out anymore, so to speak. I mean, we've got the US dollar values going down a lot, but from the bridge point of view, we are kind of chill there at the moment. So fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed. That's where we go. All right. So there we go. Let's jump into the total market volumes, 18.2 million. So that's a bit better than some of the $12 million days we've had. And at the moment, we've got about 324,000 transactions. That's down from about 395 yesterday. But about 70,000 transactions less. But we've got gas money at the moment from OG WebChef up 20%. We've got X at the moment up 11%. So we haven't got a lot of big gainers today. Not even a lot of new coins showing up on Dex Screener. This is the default view, of course, on the 24-hour. And we got Remember from OG WebChef up 7.5%. We got Staked ETH, pretty interesting. So Staked ETH there. I think this is Lido Staked ETH, is it? I think this is Lido Staked ETH. I have to double check that. I think it's Lido Staked ETH. Could be wrong about that. And isn't that interesting? Lido is the big ETH staker, right? It's got like 9 million coins staked of ETH. But we don't see a lot of action here on PulseChain with the old Lido DAO token, do we? Interesting there. Haven't really looked into the protocol itself, but it's a pretty interesting thing. Why is that case? Everyone talks about PDI, but it's interesting topics. Obviously, the ETH side, didn't get. We got Pulse instead, right? So maybe that's all part of the play. We got RSI oversold is down up 4.7%. The PDC DAI pair still looking pretty good, up 2% there. Troper as well, up 1.7% versus DAI, and then we got OG WebChef at 1.3% at number 11. So this is at number 11, and we've only got these ones showing at 1% or more. So it's not huge news there. We got Time Dividend, Gophers, UFO, all slightly green. Love.io, slightly green. Everything else is slightly red there. We've got some of these still holding up pretty well. We got GoPulse, we've got Source, Sun Mini Mill, still holding up there. Pump Tires as well, so not too bad. Everything else is pretty much on the money. So it's really about finding the ones that you think are the weakest. I think Solid X is a very good buy. Obviously, we're expecting some big things from that coming up. And that could be getting closer and closer. I'm not sure what they're thinking about the timing of market either. Probably, they're conscious of that as well with the bridge and everything else. But that's kind of it. Everything is kind of down at the moment, Dominance is down 10%. So that is the play at the moment. So, anything, what was PulseChain? It's down about, what do you say, 2 or 3% or something? So anything that's greater down than that, then the ratio has gone down relative to that if they've got a pulse pair. So that's pretty much it on those markets. Let's jump over to the Kryptonite show. Now, I wanted to quickly, I had some breaking news out yesterday, right? So I don't know if I covered that earlier. So let me have a look, see where we are at the moment. Did I cover that yesterday? I don't know. Let's talk about it anyway. We've got Tetra coming. So Tetra is coming. This is very exciting. We've been waiting. Obviously, it's some of the stuff can be very difficult. And we got an update from Dev Stu from Tetra saying the application skinning started on Friday last week. Once complete, we will launch. So that's kind of like the UI, the sort of user interface kind of stuff. So that is getting close. And then Signum Oracle, which we're waiting for, will be released shortly after that. So very exciting. We finally got a good update there. I know Stu's been working pretty hard, and you get a lot of criticisms about delays, but I think he's getting there, and we're getting pretty close to that. So hats off to Stu, and persevering through all that. Looks like we're getting pretty close. Now, this is going to unleash a ton of new DeFi possibilities on PulseChain and democratize, I guess, to a big degree, what coders would normally be exclusive access to. It's going to open up to, a lot more people with a bit of care and nous that want to get into interacting with smart contracts and things like that. So, you can set up, limit orders and all sorts of stuff just through some graphical integrations. It's going to be pretty fun. And we're probably going to see teams like PUSD ALGO, use some of the applications potentially. So yeah, it's going to be pretty fun. Of course, Signum Oracle, we're waiting for PUSD ALGO for that. So Jacob hopefully will be jumping up and down about that. Excited. I don't know. Let's see how it goes. Wookie says, yes, you did. Yeah. Well, it's worth repeating it because it's really good news. Really good news. All right. So that is the play at the moment on the old PulseChain. So not too bad there as well. And I think that's pretty much. So yeah, beautiful Senate bill through. Going to be a lot of fun to see where it all leads into the future. All right. On that note, that's pretty much it for today. 56 minutes on the hour. Yesterday I did about an hour and 30 minutes. Today I'm doing 56 minutes. That's just the way it goes. Maybe we should play out our bullish video on the end. What do you reckon? Yeah, let's do that, eh? Let's play that out on the end, and hope you guys enjoyed the show today. I will catch you guys again tomorrow. Another day in the office, as they say. PulseChain, Pulse gains. So what are some of the key things? Should we finish with that? Some of the key things that we've been seeing over the last few weeks, particularly in the monster thread, particularly throughout PulseChain, is marketing, right? So marketing is becoming a big theme and promotion at the right time, right place, because we're getting ready for that banana move. Richard Hart leading the way on that too. We could see millions of digital devices delivered to people in the United States and around the world. Could be pretty exciting. And of course, PulseChain, Pulse gains. That's going to play. We've seen a lot of yield farms on PulseChain. It's been a key theme out there. We've got a lot of cool farms doing it. I'm thinking of Emmett Farms. I'm thinking of Vox. Thinking of Function Island. They launched a new farm yield with yield token yesterday. We've got Radon out there, yield farming on Nexian with Nexian. So we've got lots of cool yield farming things going on as well. It is pretty exciting in the old PulseChain from yield farming. So earning things. We're seeing some, quite a few new innovative tokenomics, particularly around the reflection tokens and LP webbing. We've seen a lot of those out there. It's been pretty exciting. What else are some big things that we've been seeing on the PulseChain? Obviously, we've had, the big whales splashing around, taking money out of the chain. It's not been as much fun as the rest of them. However, it is good for buying. They're going to redistribute their coins. Then it's a chance for you to pick them up, right? That's part of that play. And yeah, that's kind of it. What else have we seen that's been recently topical lately on the old PulseChain? I think we've seen quite a few more artists slowly popping up. Comedians, art, just pure art. Music. So that's been definitely a theme that's been rising through the markets and so forth. I think guess the other thing that we've seen is more influencers have started coming back. Right, some from the last bull market. We had a lot of big influencers, top 5, top 10. We've seen some of them come back to start streaming again. I'm thinking of Crypto Heartbeat. I'm thinking of Brandon Rag to Riches coming back under that brand. I'm thinking of Jim Rag Crypto. I'm thinking of some of the others that have been coming back up lately. RG3, I think, has been streaming a bit more and things like that. So we're going to see a lot more people come back into the mix from the top tier. Gerardo, another big one. So we have, those kind of positive signs. And we're seeing some people, just that have been streaming, start to stream more often or get, do a lot more stuff there. So it is getting exciting. So that's another key theme we've seen on PulseChain. So that's kind of some key themes I've been noticing. Leave anything that you guys have noticed as opposed to big PulseChain themes coming up. Because I think it's going to be a lot of fun moving into this bull market. And once it takes off, everybody comes out of the woodwork, don't they? People that were gone for years suddenly come back, and you get a whole ton of new people as well. On that note, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Catch you for next time. I'll leave you with Raoul Paul, the big rich dude that loves PulseChain and loves to take over the name of the banana part of the curve. All right, take care. Bye for now.
Not a mystery. It is a repeat of the debt cycle. They are rolling the debts. They are doing the same thing. Each cycle is not to do with a halving cycle, nothing to do with any of that. It's all driven by liquidity cycle and funding of debts. Each phase, we get phase 1 of the banana zone, banana number 1. The corrective zone, banana number 2 comes. Another correction, banana number 3. So this is the banana zone. So that's what happened in 2020. 2021, off we go. Sorry, that was 2017, which again looks very similar to this one. That was the last one. Here we are now. It can't be clearer to me. I've shown you the macro evidence, the technical evidence, the sentiment evidence. Everything here suggests to me that hold on to your hats, don't fuck this up, don't lose control of your tokens, don't use leverage, don't get your wallet hacked, just sit with it, be careful, don't get FOMO, do all of the right things, and we'll go up to the next phase of correction zone. That's going to be harder, because the next one that happens will have a 35% drop, and you'll all say, is it over? And you'll definitely be sure it's over, and everybody on Twitter will tell you it's over, and it won't be over. By our work, we suggest that because of the elongation of the business cycle, because rates were higher for longer, the forward-looking liquidity suggests that, again, probabilistically speaking, without any guarantees, this whole thing goes into Q1, maybe Q2 of 2026, which would align with Trump's, trying to win the midterms as well. So everything's lined up for us. I think it started. So keep the faith, keep building stuff, and let's keep driving Siri forward with all of this. Thank you.
You could get a God candle at any moment. You could get a giant green candle at any moment because it's easier to get them, because it takes less economic energy, because there's less of it for sale.